If tomorrow Chinese government gets a pope, right? Chinese government just send their secret agent to get the pope from Vatican to China. It doesn't mean that they control the Christianity. It doesn't. Hello everyone, this is Stitch. I'm a big martial art lover. I'm learning historical European martial art in academic development and also learning Kungfu performance in the UBC Kungfu Club. And also I'm a student of the traditional martial art of Tongbei. So this video I will quickly introduce you what's going on with the Wushu, what's going on with the Chinese martial art, how they come to the situation we're seeing today. And also, you will learn the differences between the SanDa, Wushu, everything with that. So, to make you understand, I have put the development process into 3 big stages. This is not the best way to you to understand the entire story, but it is a fast way to help you understand how is Wushu become the thing we sing today. The first stage is 2000 BC to 1912. I would call this time ancient time. So a lot of you have seen people who dress like this in the film, in the theaters, in the C drama. But this is not like the big role of the Chinese history. At the most of time, Chinese people are looking like this. So this is like Qing dynasty. They are not the native people in China. They're like the people from Mongolia, right? But I would say it's still a part of Chinese culture. But in the long history, in 2,000, 3,000 years history, the China are mainly ruled by the native Chinese, which is like Han nation. The Korean costume and Chinese costume, they look really similar because in the Ming dynasty, at that time Chinese was like a big emperor. The Korean people was learning from China. That's why the costumes there, the national costume are looking so similar with the Chinese national costume. Okay, back to our story. In that time, Wushu have no big categories. They have a lot of different schools. So if you have seen the film, you know, like Wutang and Shaolin, they're like the school of the martial art. However, one thing you want to know is that all those religions, they didn't play an important role on the martial art. They are playing some roles, but the common people who's doing the martial art is the army, the gangster, and the big family. So the army are learning martial art. I mean, I don't need to speak a lot with that. You already know that. The gangsters, they are studying martial arts so they can fight people, they can kill people. And the family, the big family, they are learning martial art to protect land, money, power. I mean, I don't think you really get what I'm saying, the big family. There were a lot of village in China in the old time called the Mengjiacun, Chenjiacun, Lijiacun. It means like the village of the Meng family, the village of the Chen family, the village of the Li family. So the entire village, they're just having the same family name because they are like a big group of family. And those two big villages, when they come together, of course they are fighting to each other. Actually, there was evidence that Tai Chi Quan, the Tai Chi Kungfu, are starting from Chenjiagou, which is also a big family. Right? So the Wudang and Shaolin, they are not like big consumer of the Wushu. But the army, the gangster, and the big family, they are the great consumer of Wushu. So at that time, we call it the national martial art, 传统武术. It actually means the traditional martial art. But I don't really like this word. So when you use the word traditional, it means like not changing. It's traditional. It just stopped there. It's just tradition. I don't like that. Because traditional martial art today, they're still developing, they're still changing. And they're not so traditional, they're still being better. The practitioners are still improve their martial art understanding. Therefore, I just call them the national martial. And after that, come to the second stage. Republic China, from 1912 to 1969. I have a question mark here because I mean, I don't want to talk about the public too much. So the new China, PRC, People's Republic China, they claim that the RC had already been destroyed in the 1949, while the new China has been built. But Taiwan is today are still out of the new China's control, so hard to say. Okay, at that time, the central government was making something called the 国术, the country art. You can understand this in two ways. First, it's still like the China, the national martial art. 中国武术. It's more likely to mean that the martial art at that time is became some art that is learning by entire countries, taking important role for the entire country. So for nowadays, martial art is more like a small category of the sport, right? We have like running, swimming, I don't know, tennis, table tennis, and UFC, MMA, everything. But in the Republic China time, the martial art, the country art, 国术, it's like playing the same role with sport. So you have like Western sport, running, swimming, all that shit, and you have a 国术. They're the same. They're taking same way. So you can know how important 国术is for the Republic China. However, for today's Taiwan, that's not what's going on. Today's Taiwan, they just give up on the 国术. So one thing the central government do with 国术is that they learn from the traditional martial art. They learn from the national martial art, and they categorize them in the two big categories. The first one is performance. The second one is sparring. I can find the information. There was like two categories, but I cannot find a lot of things about the performance. But for the sparring, there was 散手, which is like the Chinese national boxing. Right? You can fight with your hands, you can kick, you can wrestling. It's basically just like SanDa, but the rules could be different. And also, like one thing different is like SanDa, they have like really common technique they use, but 散手 is more like a freestyle. You can use your own style. 散手 is like, it's not really a thing. It's just a rule, a common rule, and as long as you're following rule, you can fighting whatever you like. It's more like that. And also 短兵. 短兵 is like fighting with swords but super safe, and 长兵, fighting with spears in a safe place. One thing I would like to mention is that they didn't make them up from nothing. They made it up based on the 传统武术, the traditional martial art. So before the country art exists, the traditional martial art, some school of traditional martial art, they are using 散手 to sparring, to practice. They are using 短兵, wood sword to sparring, to test their technique. So yeah, the idea is that they're not come from nothing. They're just common rule that taken from the school of the traditional martial art. However, the country art 国术 is not all the things martial art there. The traditional martial art are still existing, right? So it's like two lines. There was a 国术, which is like a more modern but national sport thing, and the traditional martial art just keep going on the way they are. However, in 1949, the People's Republic of China, the new China, was built, and they kick the old China's ass and kick them to Taiwan. And they changed 国术 to 武术. Although the name has been changed, there was still a lot of legacy has been taken. The performance and the sparring, this is the part they didn't change. However, since the movie Hong Kong, the Kungfu movie of Hong Kong, and the Kungfu movie of the Bruce Lee was succeed, the central government of the new China really want to make the Wushu performance a big thing on the international society. Therefore, they are trying to make the performance harder, more beautiful, more cool. And they learn it from Soviet Union gymnastics. Right. So if you're going to see the performance today, the one like winning all the tournament is not the one who you can use to kill people. The one who's winning all the performance tournament is the one that is really hard, really dangerous, and really cool. And where does that come from? That's come from Soviet Union gymnastic. And that's why a lot of practitioners in China today don't think the performance are the really wushu. Well, I don't think so. I think the performance is like really important role for the training and to open your mind to get some inspires. Well, but if you're just saying like doing 720 degrees in the air, like jumping and getting circle, well, that's not wushu, right? But there are still a lot of things that you can use in the real fight, in the sparring. And also the sparring. So the sanshou was not a thing anymore. It more come to the SanDa. At the beginning, SanDa was super cool, right? So if you're in like really far place, the SanDa people just kick you. And if you're getting closer, they will hit you. And if you get really close, they will just grab you and discipline you. That's really like, that's something true fight. Like if you're fighting with on the street, that's what's going on. And also 短兵. 短兵 was a thing. I mean, you may feel surprised because you never heard of that. I mean, what is 短兵? Why am I never heard of it? Why my Kungfu club don't have it? Okay, I will answer that question later. First of all, 短兵 is more like a Chinese fencing. You're holding a really safety sword and you're fighting someone with other in safety gear. The rule is somehow looks like the Olympic fencing. However, there are still different techniques. It's a cool thing. And also 长兵. So these two things at the beginning, they're working well, right? They're both doing well. However, the central government, for some reason, just don't want to the martial art be a sparring. Don't want to the martial art only be sparring. Central government, they're just saying, hey, you know what? The martial art, the Chinese wushu should be sparring. And that's why the SanDa today is falling. I mean, I don't know what's going on in your Western country, but in mainland China, not a lot of people doing SanDa. There are not a lot of like business tournament about SanDa. There are some of like government tournament in SanDa, but that's like bullshit. And think about it. People are paying money to watch UFC. People are paying money to watch MMA. People are even paying money for the WWE. But no one paying money for SanDa because it's like, it's not a business tournament. It's like government tournament. And 短兵, it just disappeared. No one playing 短兵 anymore. You know, at the beginning, when the country started, they're like, 短兵 was like super cool. There were students from Canada. There are students from USA. There are a lot of people going to China to study about 短兵. But after this shit happens, 短兵 just disappeared. And a lot of Chinese don't know about that. Don't even know that 短兵 ever exists. And 长兵is like, just fuck up. So this whole thing, they just been destroyed, almost destroyed. However, for nowadays, central government recalled, they just come back, but for a long time they just disappeared. I mean, SanDa is always there, but for nowadays, it's just like trash. And also, so this wushu is like the 国术. They're like the same thing. There's the standards. There's the things that made up by the central government, right? Here is a common rule. Here's a thing you can follow, and yeah, just do that. But the traditional martial arts, the national martial art, there still exists. There's still 师傅 and 徒弟, the master and student. All that shit is going really well, until the Cultural Revolution. Chairman Mao decided to destroy. A lot of them are destroyed, but I would still say there are more things to save. Well, some people are saying that the Cultural Revolution really killed the Chinese culture, so the real Chinese culture are staying in the Republic China, the Taiwan. I would say that's bullshit. right? The culture are from people. Although the culture revolution destroyed a lot of ancient book, destroyed a lot of like religion things, but there are more of the culture has not been destroyed. Also, that the Republic China, the Chiang Kai-shek has bring a lot of like Chinese culture masters to Taiwan, but it doesn't mean that the Chinese culture just gone with the master. If tomorrow Chinese government gets the Pope, right? Chinese government just send their secret agent to get the Pope from Vatican to China. It doesn't mean that they control the Christianity, right? Pope means nothing. Pope is the leader of the religion, but just because you get the Pope doesn't mean you control the religion, right? So the same thing happens here, right? The old China take a lot of like Chinese culture master to Taiwan, and also there were like culture revolution in the new China, but it doesn't mean that the Chinese culture just goes with those masters. No, that's bullshit. Okay, so the traditional martial arts, they still exist, although they have been strongly destroyed, but they're still doing okay, I would say. And for the nowadays, people are starting to get back all the sparring parts. They're starting to get back the 短兵 and 长兵. And this technique, they're from two sources. Okay, one source is like when the 短兵 and 长兵 still exist, the legacy of 短兵 and 长兵. And this legacy is also come from the 国术, right? So it's like it's just developing, but in a really bad situation. And second resource is from the 传统武术, the traditional martial arts. So people today, they're trying to restructure the 短兵 and 长兵 from these two sources. So the first one is like the legacy. Second one is like traditional martial arts. And I feel that the traditional martial arts, they're just kind of, losing the space to survive today. Okay, so now that you know what's going on, that's today's video. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share this video with your friends. See you next time.